Janet. Hi, Michelle. Hey, Liz. Let me okay, the car is on this. So today I'm going to be making a shadow box. As you guys know that New York Freestyle Nails and Glitz is having a giveaway. More so than the challenge, more so than the giveaway part. I'm actually just wanting to create this for her. Um, I'm gonna do today. So 1 minutes to kind of come in here, and then I'm gonna start. I'm using from priority boxes. Peeled off all the information as far as address, so on and so forth, and all of that good stuff. La arranqué de adelante. And what is it? I put measurements down. I have some strips that I cut out. And this project, anything, was inspired by Miss Janet's beautiful shadow box that she made. Although she made hers out of hers. You guys haven't seen that, please go over to Mom to Create's channel and check out her shadow box. It is absolutely gorgeous. And I don't know if mine is going to come out as pretty as hers, but I'm going to try it, but with which is packaging from mail that I get. You guys know I get mail all the time. Hi, Kiki. So this is pretty much what we're gonna do today. So I went ahead and stripped all of this labeling off of this, and then I cut some parts down. This is gonna be um, 2 inches by 9.5. These two, and I cut two out. This is gonna be my sides to the box, and then I cut two out at is on this. Funny today, because I need to tell you guys how long it is. I think it's 2 by 13 inches, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think it's 2 by 13 inches, and then I cut two out, and then two of them by 9. So it's gonna be 9 by 13. Um, this will fit in a flat rate priority box, but if anything, I should be able to wrap it up nice and easy to ship it out to her. Oh, you're welcome, darling. But it's true, yours came out divine, and do it a little bit of justice as much as you did. So is to actually start. I'm gonna do some embossing because I'm gonna cover the sides of the box. I'm thinking with embossing, with embossed paper. I'm gonna get on my cutter bug and I'm gonna get this embossing folder that I have. There's like a brick wall. I think that'll probably be the best one, but I'm gonna see which ones I have that they have a nice texture. Thinking of this is gonna be kind of like shabby chic ish. I struggle with that a little bit. I'm getting better, but shabby chic or Paris themed, or she said something else. So this is gonna pretty much be, I think, more on the shabbier side than the Paris side because I don't really have a lot of things that are Paris besides a stamp and that paper pad that I used, which is, let me see if I find it really quickly. Um, it's gonna be one of these new ones. Um, it's one of these that I have in here. Stacked up. Not that one. My Girl, I think it is. Is it My Girl? No, it's not My Girl. Um, name on that one. I have to write the name on that one. Pads that I got that are used, but my favorite things. Is it my favorite things? Yeah, it's my favorite things. Which this one I think has. Um, this feels like Paris, more cafes and so on and so forth. So I might use some of that paper to some embellishments and see where I go from there. But more or less that's the idea for today. Hi, Tina. The idea for today. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and just I'm gonna emboss a whole bunch of papers. And like I said, I already have my strips. These are my main structure strips, and I know that this is probably bigger. I just made it long enough so that when I start building, I could just cut off with a blade whatever's excess. And then brick here, which is came in this tube called Charles's Crafts. And it doesn't say anything else. And I know that it says that, but it doesn't say anything else about it other than that. It says antique white. And I'm gonna probably cover the back of it with this, or I'm just gonna add some of this into the frame somehow, some way. I cut out extra strips to make the compartments. I haven't measured and cut them down yet because I might make them different sizes. Same, I'm really not sure yet where that's gonna go, but I got all my strips cut out. I did this before I even started today, and I gessoed um, whole, cardboard, I should say, and I gessoed it with Deco Art Media gesso. And then I also added on some parts. I added some of this crackle paste. And not show through too well. I see some crackling, but not too much crackling. Um, Now, as I'm gonna get my Cuttlebug out, and we're gonna emboss some papers so that I can start getting those pieces down. Check out from the thrifty store. Whenever you guys see me pull out weird stuff like that, 9 out of 10, I probably got it from a thrifty store. Order stuff like that online. Those are usually like little finds here and there. So I'm gonna see which one I have that is good. Blue, and then I'm going to emboss that, and this might be nice. So, oh, butterflies. This is gonna be a hard choice, I see, because I'm like, okay, let me do some brick. Yeah, here's the brick. So I like the brick because it'll give it consistent, continuous kind of texture, and I really like how this embosses. The rose one, and I think I ordered this thing again. Now that I'm looking at this pattern, oh boy. Um, so in the past, what was it? I've been waiting for my iron shelf. That's what I call it, my iron shelf. It's like one of those metal shelves. I bought one from Walmart. You guys know that I bought a bookshelf. I bought two bookshelves from Walmart. They were on sale. I bought them for like $14 a piece. But when I added my paper pads, collapsed on one side. So um, I had to kind of find the solution in a hurry. And the solution that I got was to buy another shelf, but this time make sure that it's a heavy duty shelf. So I did that, which I might pan over and show you guys later on how I have that. And I did a lot of organizing and sorting. I added labels to most of my stuff, um, and trying to get myself kind of tidy. I have everything now kind of compartmentalized. All the things that go together are together, which will hopefully make my life a little easier. Can you guys hear me okay? Hey, Brandy. You guys can. I'm just gonna get my 2B plates show on the road. And get all of this. Let me move my mic over so I'm not constantly hitting it. Oh, I need the biggest one of all, which is the 8 plates. So put this one on the bottom. So what do you guys think? The rose, the brick, or the butterflies? This is gonna become somewhat shabby. So I don't know if the roses are overkill, or I could do small little windows and add them to the backgrounds individually. Add them everywhere, but add them in some of the little boxes as background. So that's also an option. So what do you guys think? Forever hold your peace. I'm just gonna get some cardstock, and I'm gonna be using the Nina White because I bought a whole bunch of that. I got two reams of that. Brick all the way. Woohoo for bricks! All right, so we're gonna do some bricks then. Um, we can always add different elements of this throughout the inside of like the little windows inside of the shadow box. So let's do that. So I'm just gonna fold my paper in half. Going to print to size. So one of these sheets, which is 11 by 8.5, should give me enough for 4 sections. And then I'm just gonna pretty much fold it over, put one side in, and then I'll just flip it. Well, cut the piece out that I don't need, and then do what I gotta do. Dun, dun, dun. I probably won't get to finish this whole project in one sitting, but I will hopefully make a lot of advancement on it. Things go, then maybe I could even finish it off tomorrow, but we'll see. We'll see how that kind of goes. For our eBay, it's not bad. And I ordered some new ones too, so hopefully out soon enough. They'll be getting here soon enough. I got some new stamps and stuff that we're going to be playing with next Wednesday. Before that, I'm not sure. You guys know I'm all over the dang place. So how is everybody's day going? Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful Saturday. I know I am. I've been back to school shopping. It's just been kind of hectic, but and I might even incorporate this. I might make this I got this new stamp set. It's like an oriental stamp set. I'll show you guys in a little bit. But I might make it like an oriental type of shabby chic because it's got a really cute oriental girl in there type of image. At least to me it's geisha. That's the only thing I can think of. I'm probably wrong all the way around. Hi Joyce. How are you, darling? So this part is pretty quick. And then I'm gonna glue them on as they are, and then I'll probably go ahead. I'm gonna need a few of these, and then I'll go ahead and glue it on and secure. Once I've built my frame and I've glued on all the pieces, then I'll probably go into them and you know make sure that they're all nicely Mod Podged or just sort of whatever I end up doing to them. Nice and protected on the outside, and then I'll probably add to them, so on and so forth. With the inside, what I'm thinking is I'm just gonna paint into it. I was thinking about adding paper to the background, but I figure I'll just leave the paper to reinforce the back on the thinner side. I'll just leave the paper to reinforce the back side. And this is just something that you guys can pretty much do uh, with those kinds of, you end up getting and then you end up throwing out. I try when they're not too beat up and the corners are not too crunched up, like I'll save them and I'll either reuse it and send packaging to somebody else, or I'll cut them apart and I'll just save specific pieces of it, like the pieces that are not damaged, on projects like this or just, other stuff. And let me just show you guys. You're probably gonna fall back in your chair, but on my shipping receipts. I keep them all together for the most part. This is just within a couple months. And this is like Angel Mail, Happy Mail. I still got more. I just I'm stuffing them. So yeah, I do quite a lot of shipping and I get quite a lot of shipping in return. So I get packages often. So for anybody that's watching this later and they're like, "Oh my God, don't go to the post office and steal the boxes to be creating your stuff." Like, no, that's not the case here. I'm actually recycling. Well, the rain just keeps, yes, it does. And we're in that kind of intermediate section where it's just rain, rain all day. It was raining here in New York all day yesterday. Um, a lot this morning, but it's gotten better. And I also have a new dye that I want to try out. So I'm gonna see how I implement all of these different things. Um, I know I haven't been doing a lot of show and tell when it comes to what I've been buying and what I've been hauling. Um, it's just because right now it's just bombarded with haul videos. Not to take anything away from anybody, to each their own. They could do, and please show and tell as much as you possibly can, because at the end of the day, that's how we know what things are available, what things are out there. Most part, I didn't want to add to the mayhem because, like, I know my timeline full of haul this and haul that and haul, and it's been minimalized. The crafting side has been minimalized a lot because of all the hauling. I'm not bashing anybody who's shopping. If you can shop, shop. I'm shopping, shoot, and I don't plan to stop either. As long as I can and able. But I'm just gonna show you guys things in small dosages, and I'm gonna probably incorporate them skills that I already have going on, so it's not overwhelming and it's not just about what I bought. Um, so I'll show you guys things here and there. And you guys know I do a lot of eBay hauling. I do a lot of eBay shopping. Like, I stay away from AliExpress because we're like mortal enemies right now because they owe me money. But for the most part, I think that's how I'm gonna do it. Carmen, I just got rid of a bunch of receipts to keep. Have to go through it too. And the thing is that all of those have a little check mark next to the name. Next to, like, every time that I send something to somebody, I write their name, for the town, and then when they receive it, I put a check mark on it. But since sometimes you never know when things might arrive and they won't open it and it'll arrive damaged, I don't want to just throw things out and then I just forget and I just keep adding them and adding them. People have like sent donations and stuff to me. I just want to make sure that everybody knows that I am doing the right thing by these donations. I'm not keeping these things. I'm actually shipping them out. I've been getting stuff. They just haven't really been making videos about what they've been receiving, but they have been getting stuff. Um, I have been sending packages out. I actually have 3 more packages out to send this month to 3 people. And I actually just sent out some packages a little while ago. So, it is what it is. I don't do it for the glamour of it. I don't do it for the views. This is why I do it kind of like surprise status. And I don't even say who I'm sending stuff to. I'm good to go as long as I know that the package was delivered and that they received it. That's more than enough for me to know that I did it. So I keep the receipt for the shipping just in case somebody gets froggy and they decide to leave. Look at here, look at here, look at here. I got my proofs. So, yeah. You guys know I'm a little zany, right? This comes with the territory. And me, I've been somebody that has had my packages stolen numerous times. So I just got into the habit of saving them. But I do have to purge, Brandy. I do have to purchase. I do have a lot. And you see how long those suckers are? That's not just scanner code. That's like 5, 6 people at a time. So, and not necessarily swaps, just me. It's all good. We all do what we can. I've been there. I've had my cupboards bare, if you will, to like have one sheet of paper and be like, oh no, I'm down to my last sheet. What am I gonna do? So now that I'm in a better place, gratefully and thankfully, thank you, Lord, and I'm able to do what I can. Plus, I've had amazing people help me out along the way. So, it's not all me. It's just who I am. And I know that a lot of us start from nowhere. And it's a nice gesture. So, love is love. You guys know that's my little motto right there. It is. I love it. And I get emails, like I get confirmations like I received it. So it's not like people are, not they got it. Like I'm getting the emails and stuff and they're just letting me know, I was in a bummed out situation and this really like brightened me up. Like I was so shocked that I got it. And that's more than enough for me. That's more than enough views. I just need the one. I just need the one from the person that got it. I'm good. Prize. You're not supposed to know that it's coming. You're not supposed to know. If I have something and I know that it's your style, or I've heard you say that you need something, or whatever the case may be, surprised. You never know. As long as I have your address, because if I have to ask for your address, it ruins the surprise. So, um, hi, Tanya. Guess what I'm doing? Guess what I'm doing? Shadowbox. Live. That way, if anybody who has not entered, Tanya, Smiles and Glitters Challenge. Consider this, if you will, a VR. Go ahead and you have her in the little list there. Click on her little picture. Go to her channel. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And if you would like to enter her challenge, you have 2 weeks to go still. So I am doing crafting for your shadow box. Now you're not gonna see all of it because I know me, I'm slow as heck, and I won't finish it all. But hopefully this will help somebody that doesn't know how to go about doing the shadow box. And if you need inspiration, please visit Mom to Create's channel. She did a beautiful shadow box. If you're just kind of wondering what you can do with yours, hers is amazing. Um, and you'll get a lot of inspiration from it as well. It's just an easy kind of DIY type of situation that you can pretty much do with scraps. So I think I'm good. And if I'm not good, I will revisit the embossing folder process. But I got quite an amount, and I should be able to get at least 2 strips. Each of these, which should size that I got, and the one that I plan on using, and I'll do that really, really quickly, so that I can continue to create. And I'm gonna start preparing the background. Then we're gonna cut these to size. Now, what I used for this, if I can find it, I had this. I found this at my thrifty store. I think I paid $1 for it. I didn't know what the heck this was. It's really thick. It's about 2 inches, and it clicks into an angle like so. That's if you have all, the complete square. And I think it's a stamp positioner. I'm not sure. I thought it was a ruler, so I got it because I thought it was a ruler. Yes, it is quite expensive, Tina. What I've done when I can is I buy those padded envelopes because they're cheaper to send out. Send smaller amounts and send more out. Kind of put myself in budget, if you will. Like I'll do 2 or 3, that many, depending on what my family budget is. Like if I could do one, I'll do one. If I do two, I'll do two. Before, what I was doing is because of whatever revenue I was earning off of YouTube, um, editing was better than it is now. I was actually using that. About that's when I started Happy Meal Exchange and stuff like that, my videos was doing well, and revenue was better. So I was just using that because it wasn't enough to like buy a car. So with it, besides buying a little bit of crafts, I was pretty much just setting myself a budget so that I can ship out at least a month, every couple months. but a couple people every, every month, and keep it easy enough for me, but at the same time still be able to deliver some joy. You guys know how that goes. So, like I was saying, this thing, I think it's a stamping. It's from Stamping Up, so I think it's a stamp positioner for the blocks. But I think that's what it is. If anybody has any idea, if I'm wrong, let me know. All right, Brandy. Cause I thought it was a ruler, and then because I saw all the little lines, and then I got home and I'm like, but where the hell are the numbers? So, I use this. So this is pretty much 2 inches thick, and I just fung fung, using to kind of measure it out. So this is all the sticks are pretty much this width. So I didn't have to go too crazy with measurements. Um, so we have this and we have this. We're gonna go to the side for now. Let's go ahead and start working. Don't spill. The one thing I asked you not to do is the one thing you do. I'm trying to figure out what to do with these buckets of brushes that I have. And if you ask my husband, he'll probably tell you to throw them out. But I cannot do that as I am emotionally attached to my brushes. So you can't do everybody's challenge, Tina. We can only stretch, but so far in it that we can do everybody's challenge. But I personally cannot do everybody's challenge. I have too much stuff going on with the angel mail, the happy mail, things that I do. Um, I'm doing Tanya's challenge number one because Janet inspired me with her beautiful shadow box. So Tanya's challenge is exactly a shadow box. So I was like, you know what? I can kill two birds with one stone and do something that I want to try. And at the same time, because she is, she's an awesome supporter of my channel and she's a great person and also a friend. So I figured I'd do that. But I can't do everybody's challenge all the time. And I do apologize for that. Um, I try whenever my load is not so big. But again, between shipping to all these different people and everything else, it gets a little hectic. But I try to at least get there eventually. So I know people have multiple channels, multiple challenges, especially nowadays. People are having challenges like every single month. So I'm sure that I'll get in there one way or the other, maybe on the next one. But it's all good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start painting this. I'm gonna paint the whole thing, even though I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be cutting a lot of this off because larger than what I need it to be. I left this little tab on because I figured, but I figured maybe I can add a string or something to that. It all depends um, how I actually end up configuring this whole thing. But some paint to it, and again, I'm going with the shabby theme, so I'm gonna start adding some pink paint. Tina, almost at 1,000. That is awesome. I love to hear when my people um, do great. Yes, to each their own. I'm not gonna say nothing negative about that, but it's a little overwhelming for me because I don't know which one I'm jumping into. You guys know double dutch, so it's like the challenges is the double dutch, right? And you don't know when to jump in, and when you get ready to jump in, it's like you can't. So sometimes I just miss those deadlines. So I'm gonna be adding it. I'm gonna be doing this like in a matte finish. For Americana Decor chalky finish, and this one's called Whisper, which is like an off white or like an eggshell. I pulled out the Innocence, which is another chalky finish. So between these two colors, I'm gonna start kind of splashing them on there. And I'm not gonna add texture to the actual base itself because it's got texture between the rippling of the cardstock itself. I'm probably gonna do some windows with embossing. I'm gonna cut out some embossing little sections and glue them to the background. Add to this is stamping. I will add stamping to some of, to a lot of the places, and some of the exposed windows are going to be stamped in the background, and I'll figure it out from there. Oh, Isabel, ¿cómo estás? I'm so happy you joined. So happy you joined. What we're going to do, and I'm just going to grab a semi beat up brush that I'm not too crazy about. It's not about getting fancy. As a matter of fact, I'm not even going to get a beat up brush. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my newly invented paint roller. And I used this already to put the gesso and all the stuff on. So this is what I think I'm going to do with this. For those of you guys that didn't see what I did last week, this is a regular paint roller. Yeah, I wiped the heck out of this thing because I wanted a brayer. Not be as good as a brayer if you bought a brayer, but it'll do in a pinch. So this is a bottle of seasoning. Those cheap dollar seasonings that you get at Family Dollar or your Dollar Trees or whatever it is that you buy your powder seasonings. And it is actually perfect enough to kind of hold that in place. So this is what I am going to use to just smooth the paint and mix and match all the paints on here. And it'll also kind of give it some texture as well because it'll come out a little spiky. With this is actually, I'm going to grab foam sheet and I'm just going to add strips of double-sided tape or something to this. I'm going to add foam to it and I'm going to wrap it in foam. One of these is wrapped in foam and one of these is plain. And I'm probably going to do different textured ones because I think I could even make my own stamp, roller stamp with this by embossing the foam and then wrapping them around these tubes and then just having these tubes with different embossed prints on them. And then I could just dip them in paint and just pretty much roll an image onto the paper. So I think there's a lot of different uses that I can get out of this. So hopefully somebody doesn't steal my DIY and say that they created it because you guys saw it here first. report, and I'm just playing. So for the most part, thank you, darling. So for the most part, that thing cost me $1 something, $1.50, $2. I think it cost me for the thing. And the seasonings you buy them regularly, so that doesn't cost you anything. And it's a good way to recycle. So, but other than that, it'll do for now. So I'm gonna start off by just kind of splashing colors all over the place. I just want them to kind of go in and out of each other and somewhat blend. So I'm just gonna kind of these, and I don't want to go too overboard. This is for you. So I'm just gonna go like that, and then I'll add wherever I need to add, and then you guys are gonna see my rolling pin in action. My rolling pin. I don't know what to call it because I always give my tools a name. Like my stamping tool is Quirky. Call it. I need to give it a name. Part of the family. So pretty much going in it, to in it, and I like it because it kind of looks like marbling. And then I have all those little rivets or whatever you want to call them. I think when I put the foam on it, it'll catch a bit better because it'll be able to like go a little bit more into the crevices of certain textured papers or cardboards and stuff like that. But me like it because I still have some of the white exposed gesso that I put in the background. Plus, it captures and it runs. Now, if you're wondering why I didn't use what it came with as far as stuff like that, the bushy part, not the bushy part. That sounds so wrong. This is not that kind of channel, you guys. What I mean is the actual paint roller that came with it. The everything that I think of sounds wrong in my mind, so I don't want to say it. You guys know what the heck I'm talking about. The little hairy thing in there. So I can't. So for the most part, this is cracking up in the background. This is why I can't do it when he's here. So for the most part, actually leave that, and as you use it, it'll create texture. So as it dries, you'll have, you know, a nice textured roll that you can actually use for a different kind of background. So um, it's just something to keep in mind. You might even be able to use like your rolls of you know, the rolls of toilet paper. Once you're done with the toilet paper itself, you might be able to do that and cut notches out of it or poke holes into it or whatever you want to do, just to create different plates, different kinds of texture plates. Now I don't know if this has been already done. So um, kind of a spur in the moment type of I passed through there. I saw the E600 glue at the Family Dollar, and then I saw these things next to it. And I've been wanting a brayer for quite some time. Napkin. Online, they're like ridiculously expensive for a small little brayer that looks like it'll break on me in 2 seconds anyway. So clean. And you could always remove these and put them in water if you have paint that got stuck on it or you forgot to clean it or whatever the case is. They're cheap enough to replace either way. It's not a bad deal. How thick your foam is and how good of an impression, you can come up with some really, really interesting. So I'm gonna kind of let this dry a little bit. This won't take too long. Um, okay, everything is falling on me. So let's see here. Let me just wherever I see just where there's just too much paint. I want this thing to dry today. Um, I'm pretty sure that this thing will work a lot better on a surface that wasn't so um has a lot of ridges. Um, what I do with my napkin? Oh, it's right here. All right. So that'll dry. I'll go cutting up my strips of folder. And then once I do that, then I'll start assembling the box itself. And then we'll start figuring out how we're gonna decorate this thing. Because I don't know yet. I got flowers, so I'm good on the flower part. But I've been thinking about what images I'm gonna either print, create, or if I'm gonna go with this theme. Now let me show you guys before I do that, because I did say I was gonna show you guys something, right? Okay. Oh, guess what else? My black embossing powder arrived. Woo woo. I'm so happy. Finally, I'm part of the embossing club. I have black embossing powder. I've been wanting that thing forever. All my little messes, put them in little hidden spots. You didn't see me do that. You're very welcome, Kiki. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. If I did not DIY most of the things when I don't think I would have ever started on YouTube. Seeing so many, you know, talented people on here creating all these different things, and you see them pull out their expensive stuff, and not all of them. Some of them are frugal as I am, but you see them pulling out all these expensive things to make this, to make that, and you're like, what the heck? Um, you know, and you go buy it, and you're like, okay, wait a minute, I'm gonna have to sell an organ so that I can get that. Or any organs for that matters. So I had to figure out a way to make it, and I just look around my house or things that were gonna get thrown out, or things that I might see even outside that either have been thrown out. If they're good enough to salvage, then I'll salvage it. Um, be and then I'll just figure out a way to, you know, get my MacGyver on. Who else is here? Dana, you're here. Hi. This is one of the dyes that I got. Let me see if I can get a colorful. The actual. Where's this little mat that I bought? Yeah, this is the mat that I got for the Cuttlebug. It's a magnetic mat. I'm telling you guys, I'm upgrading little by little, but I'm still the same. I don't change no matter what I got on the black side. So this is one. They actually messed up on this dye, but I'm actually kind of happy that they messed up on it. And oh, a different one. It was like cherry blossoms called plum flower. I don't know where the hell they got the plum from because it was cherry blossoms. Okay, flower. Somebody there is on something. So anyway, two. I got this is one of them. This one they messed up on. The other one I actually paid more for. This one's cheaper. This one was 195 or something like that for the difference. But I actually kind of like it because I like how the little flowers go, and I can put a little on each of the centers or you know, some bling or something. So this is one of the dyes that I'm gonna try to incorporate in here because I think it'll make a cute little banner like for the top of the box, or maybe even for, yeah, probably for the top because I don't want it to be too flimsy, but probably for the top. And then this one is another one, and it's not a complete cutout die. Like, it doesn't completely cut out the die. What it does more so is it embosses, and um that it does cut out, like, it's pretty long. This is not on inches, but yeah, let me see if I find the inches. Take up too much of the time for crafting, but I gotta let that thing dry anyway. So this is about, just so it's pretty long, and it was really cheap. I think I paid 159 for this. Now this part cuts out, um, it cuts out all this section here and a lot of these section here, but it doesn't cut out the bottom, and then some of these parts are, you know, they're gonna be open and exposed. But mostly it does a lot of embossing, and I think that this will look cute to somehow add it in the bottom of the box, kind of decoration. Just kind of see how I do that as well. But I ordered a whole bunch of them, but they're coming in slowly, so I'll show you guys slowly as they come. Hi, Deb. How you doing, love? So for the most part, that's that. But let me show you guys the stem because you'll tell me if that's a good idea or not a good idea. Um, there. But let me see. I have my little planner here that was gifted to me by Donna, um, over at Donna's Creation, or not Donna's Creation, not Donna's Creation, but I forgot. But right now, I forgot. Tell me later. So I call her Oriental because I don't know what the heck her name is, but I think she's really cute, and she's got cute little cherry blossoms. How do I open this thing? All right, so we get it out of the packaging. I don't know how good of a cling it's gonna be, but, and hopefully you guys can see. Let me see if I can use the same thing to kind of show you guys here. What the heck? Better. This is crazy. So I got her there, so I'm thinking I could cut her out and kind of put her on the corner on one spot. And then I like this little bird right here with some of the cherry blossoms. And then we have some more cherry blossoms with just things kind of hanging. And I thought it was really cute, something different, but I will definitely still keep her kind of shabby chic, if you will. So I don't know. This is just something that I'm thinking right now. And she's small enough that I can kind of stick her in there. Then I'll probably use one of my other girl stamps that I have that are small, like the little darlings or whatever they're called. Um, I don't want to use a gorgeous girl. I'm kind of over the gorgeous girls for right now because I might as well. I got this one as well. It's got 4 houses. 185 for this one. Size houses. I mean, by like 2.5 inches, almost 3 inches. So the houses are pretty big, easy to cut out as well. So that was a good one. And then I got this one because you guys know I suck at winter stuff, so I didn't have any stamp for it that represents some kind of winter something. So I got that one for Christmas, or for winter. So that's where I am with that. What I've been doing is I've been writing them in as they get here, And I've been writing down the prices that I pay for them so that I know what's what and who's who and who I gotta yell at in case my stuff don't come through. But that's where I am. Yes, crafting and more with Donna. Thanks, Tina. I know it was crafting something. She's like a sweetheart. That lady is so awesome. She does Bible verses in the morning, and she also does coffee in the morning as well. Monday morning coffee, I think she does on Mondays, and she does every single morning. She does Bible verses. So, if you're looking for a little bit of faith or just a little bit of direction, you never know what verse you'll jump into or fall into. Might just be exactly what you need to hear for the day. I got my embossing dies, my embossing papers, and I'm gonna get my little handy dandy ruler if I find it because everything is now hiding from me, even though I organized everything. Here it is. Boy, was that a mouthful. Dana, it is. She's just a really, really sweet lady overall. She always does for others whenever she is able to. And she's going through a lot right now, but she still manages to come on every morning, you know, spew her love everywhere, which is awesome. I love people like that. People that stay always the same, that they're always constant. Thank you. You know that I went to the kitchen and I drank out of that blue bottle? I I know now. I was like, what the heck? This tastes weird. And I realized that it was a thing. I was like, ah, no. I drank soda like quick. I was like, this tastes nasty. Yes. I was like, I hope I don't get jittery when I'm doing the live. I was like, please, 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 no stomach aches. I'm fine. It didn't do nothing. I didn't drink enough. I just drank a sip out of it. I was bugging out for a second. I got scared. I was like, no, I don't want to grow muscles. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow like the Hulk. So yeah, darlings. I just love people that are always consistent. You know, they treat you the same as like Cheers. I try, and I guess this is why I'm kind of like the way I am, especially like when I'm doing my lives with you guys. Try to make you guys feel like like that show Cheers. If you guys ever, I'm probably dating the hell out of myself right now, but there was a show called Cheers. It was about a bar. Most people know what it is. If not, Google it. So, um, time that everybody walked through the doors, like they knew their name, like Norm or whatever, whoever's name it was, like they always knew their name. The song is actually always knowing their name. Um, so nobody ever wanted to leave the bar. And I tried to kind of keep the energy on that level and just make everybody feel welcome and just be the same all the time. When you're real, you don't change. So I keep it always copacetic and have this be like your little happy place. You can guys can always come on and just know that you're gonna come here and it's always gonna be fun. Doing it's just gonna be a fun time. I'm cutting all these edges off because once I cut into 2 inches, I don't want to have those little extra white edges that I'm not gonna need. So I'm just making sure that I only have the embossed areas because that's all I need. I just need the embossed areas. But you know how it is. Sometimes they don't all emboss the same, which is why I cannot mass cut them. Um, I want them to fit one over the other like Legos, if you will. So when I go lay them in, I don't want to have like white spaces that don't have any embossing on them. So I'm just trimming that. No, Carmen, not green. You will be orange like our first wall. So lost, Joyce. Norm. Yes. So I just try to keep it always cool. I want you guys to have an awesome time here and feel free to discuss whatever you guys want to discuss. If you want me to discuss anything, feel free to ask me or feel free to ask each other. That's what friends are for. Buddy. So, moving right along. 1,500 more to go. I think I'm gonna start with these because I don't want to overdo it and then not even need all that, and then realize I spent 30 minutes cutting paper that I didn't need. So I'm gonna start, and then I'll just cut more if I need more. And I just have to make sure that how I need this to be. I'm gonna hold this up. I should just use my. Don't mind this. You guys know I use everything for painting. It's a little messy, but I think this will probably be the quickest way that I can go about doing this. Where's my pen? Down the middle. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Janet. So, um, pretty much these right down the middle. I think that that'll be my easiest way to do this, as opposed to aligning and drawing lines, so on and so forth. I think this will help me get it out, bang it out quicker. And I'm good with it just being an approximation of 2 inches for the most part. I know that a little bit off by me. I just want to make sure that are gonna fit perfectly. Perfectly, I can just go with a scissor and cut it off. I think that'll be easier for me once they're all glued on than to go crazy. Trying to figure that out now. So I'm just gonna do a whole bunch of these, and then once I do all of these, then I'll go into the assemble mode. Thank you, my darlings. Now with you guys, do so many things that I normally don't do on Saturday and Wednesday, just to come and chill with you guys. Okay, but just bask in your ambiance. Just bask in your ambiance. All right, so I think more here, and that might be enough. It might not be enough. I don't know, but I'll figure it out as I go. That's quite the little amounts, and it's pretty much perfect sizing. I'm not stressing it if it's gonna be a hairline off or on. Always, add beading or whatever the case may be to whatever little area is needed. Um, I think more so than anything, I have to now get my glue gun going. I need a new hobby knife set. This one looks like it has been through the Civil War and back. Crap, moldy. Some of my blades got orange juice on them, so they just got all messed up. Not all of them, just some of them. I was able to salvage most of them. So, here we go. Let's turn this puppy on, and the light is on. The light is on. So what I did is most of these strips. This is 2 by 13, and these are 2 by 9.5. So I did two of these and two of those. Hopefully, I'll be able to get this in a box. If not, I'm gonna have to custom box it. All of these just 2 inches across, and then I'll figure out how make them so that I can add the individual little boxes. Take a from there. Requested that there be 9 boxes in total, Tanya. So 9 little cubby holes. So I'm going to try to accommodate that, but the box itself is pretty large, as you can see by the number. Um, Try and do a little teeny one with 9 little openings. So let's see. Up and then we shall be good to go for the next round. Okay. Well, I let that heat up. I'm gonna come into this background and stamp. To add some stamping on here, so I'm gonna go into this and stamping. This is pretty dry. Are some wet spots, but it's mostly dry. I'll fix that right now. Dries pretty quickly. See, I didn't even really get any paint on my napkin. So now I have um, this Paris stamp, which I think I'm gonna incorporate into the background of this, because I normally go for my script one. I know you also, Paris was also one of the options you could do. So I'm just gonna kind of mix it up and just leave it like that. I'm gonna just use Memento Black on this. These are gonna be covered up because I'm gonna add little papers to individual little windows. I'm gonna probably try to customize each little window some way somehow. Don't have a lot of like resin pieces or like those kinds of embellishments stuff, but individual little pieces or shapes, little things like that I don't have. I'm gonna be making up. I have some molds here. I just need my oven, and I already I sent them a letter to the building so that they can replace my stove, because my stove top works, but my oven is discombobulated. The thing just gave out because I bake a lot. I try not to fry. I do a lot of baking, and I think it just saw its last cake. So for the most part, I have no oven, so I can't bake them, and I can use the dry porcelain, but I want to bake them. This is what happens when you get stuck on something. So I'm not caring too much how perfect these come out, but I will try to get a good impression. But with it not coming out so well, this is I might refer to my other one. It's okay, but it's not the greatest. Too many little writing on it, so it's just coming out like dirt. You can't even see the image. So this was a flop. Different stamp. Let's see. Where's my baby? Where's my baby? Come to mama. Here you are. Even though this might not be any better, but either way. Bye, Tina. Thanks for hanging out. So back to my Prima. I'm probably gonna definitely cover up these sections here because I just don't like it. I'm gonna try this one and just see with this stamp. You can't do that. Why can't you do that? It's really not that difficult. The little crevices it stamps well. It's a shame. I'm just gonna go kind of crazy. And I'm gonna be covering a lot of these things up. It doesn't really matter. I just wanted to have some kind of textured something or the other. So on any window that I do leave exposed, if I feel like leaving something exposed, it's not completely bare in the background. So I think actually what I'm gonna use is the stamp positioner. serve me well today because it forms into a perfect, and I think I can actually use this to paper. Where's my cardboard pieces to properly uh, in there. So this might actually work. And again, this is gonna be probably on this side, and then this is gonna be on the outside. So where I'm putting this first of all. So I have more room to like right there. Yeah, I think that'll work. So let's see. I don't think I'm gonna need this. I don't think I'm gonna need it. It's gonna probably throw me off to be honest with you because it's kind of wobbly. The just testing to see how hot this glue is, and then my side pieces, and then my base is gonna be the long part. So hopefully you guys can kind of see that well. And I have enough room on this to play with, so this is why I kind of did this way. Excess space. One of two options. I can either decorate the edges that are left over, or I can trim them off. Of you know what I'm gonna do here. So I'm gonna just build this first. Ay, madre mía, me quemé el dedo. Making sure these are straight. And then this one's gonna be here, and this one's gonna be. And then some of the strips are gonna go in between there. Oh yes, we have resourceful people everywhere, and I do mean everywhere. So on there, which is pretty good. So now to add, and I want to make sure that this is as leveled as possible. And then I'm gonna go back into right now. I just want to get them kind of tacked on, and hopefully I don't burn my finger again. Ay, madre mía, I burned my finger again. Oh, I am being attacked, y'all. I'm being attacked. The glue gun, the glue sticks in there, and it only wants to use the expensive stuff. All right, Liz. So we're on to our last piece here. This should hopefully, yeah. So together like so. I'm scared of the glue gun because it keeps burning my fingers. I hope I put enough in there. And then I'll do the outsides after, making sure that everything is everything. And it's not glued to the base yet. Using the base right now for support more so than anything. In a second. Just want to make sure that these edges are good and flushed. Come on, stop drooling. All right, Liz. Pray for us. Because we need it. All righty, darling. All of these corners. Now I'm gonna go on the outside and just reinforce all of my outside spots, and then I'll go on the inside end. Now I could have used my because that would hold just fine. It's great on paper, but I opted for Bumpy Grumpy over here. And then pretty much what I do is after I layer it in, then I just run just the tip of it without squeezing any glue out, just to make sure that it's nice and as smooth as I can possibly get it. Take off all that excess, give me somewhat of a smoother surface. So when I actually start to layer, ay la madre que me parió. I burn my finger because I grabbed the napkin roll. Google today. It doesn't want me to talk about it at all. So I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. But I'm gonna wake up tomorrow with a swollen middle finger. Ice cream. Ice cream. Oh my god, girl. Now I know what you're talking about. I'm like, ice cream? Who's getting ice cream? I like mint chocolate chip. I love vanilla with Swiss almond. Vanilla chocolate chip. Did I say that already? Oh, I said mint. Yeah. Anything with chocolate. But I like it with vanilla too. Vanilla chocolate. So one more corner and we are finito. Side spots. Now all we're gonna do is pretty much mount this to the actual background and then we'll be good to go. I'm just making sure that I clean up after myself when I add this glue. It can be so obnoxiously like just everywhere. And now I'm gonna go ahead and just mount it and I'm gonna hold it down and mount it uh, the spots to go. Well, I'm gonna use these strips of embossing that I embossed with the brick. So these are gonna go on all the outside. I might go ahead and cut out some strips of 2 inches by whatever the dimensions of this thing is. I think 9.5 or whatever. And then I'll just probably glue some kind of pink paper or some kind of paper on the inside that has some kind of cute pattern, and probably do it that way. That everything is pretty much covered. And then I'm gonna probably add some kind of trim or something to the actual outside ridges of the box itself. I'm just gonna hold this in a few minutes. Well, not a few minutes, but a few seconds. And then I'm gonna do the outside, just so that I make sure that this is really nicely supported. And make sure that this thing is not gonna go anywhere. And again, I'm not too worried about these edges because once I trim them, then I'll just pass the tip of the gun itself and just melt some of that glue and get some of that excess right off. Will be no loss. Ooh, that sounds yummy, Joyce. Uh, ice cream is my weakness. I have been known to go to the store like 1 in the morning for some ice cream, which is so bad. But I have done it. My favorite is Haagen Dazs, but I think it's more nostalgia than anything else, and it's the one place I don't have around me. What I said Carvel. I don't know if I said Haagen Dazs. I mean Carvel store, but Carvel is a nostalgia thing for me. And whenever I see a Carvel, I just have to stop in. But they don't have a Carvel out here. Living in the city, Carvel everywhere. Pressure on the top just to make sure that as I am adding this glue here that it catches well. This paper does have all those ridges from ripping out the inside. Cover this with flowers. I can cover this with lace. I can pretty much do whatever I want to the outside of this box, if you will, if it's something that I so choose to do. You can make your boxes however. You can add family photos in here. You could do like a scrapbook layout. Add, vacation photos, birthday photos, wedding photos, whatever you want to do with it. But it's a good way to kind of recycle these types of just go to the garbage. And granted, they end up being recycled anyway, but they could last a really long time. That as well. And I do have a heat tool, Kiki. My only fear is that I'm gonna add the heat tool and the whole thing's gonna fall apart. It's gonna melt. So chunky monkey, yes, Dana, stop it. Oh, I love banana in my ice cream. That's the chunky monkey. Chunky monkey has banana, walnuts. Can't stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. You guys are killing me right now. Ice cream. Where's Michelle Tanner? Ice cream? Cream? I love me some ice cream. It's my weakness. All right, so we got one more side to go. And I started on the outside. It's all right. It doesn't matter which side you start on, as long as you hold it tight so that it catches all the edges. And if you end up peeling the inside, which is optional, like I did, you're gonna cover it with paper. Like if you're gonna use your scrap, like 12 by 12 scrapbook paper or any other paper for that matter, you don't have to do this. You don't have to scrape off all the inside. I wasn't gonna use the paper on the inside because I wanted to use the paper on the outside. But if you want to go ahead and use that paper on the inside and the outside, you can go ahead and do so and save yourself the trouble of scrapping all of that stuff off. Because I wanted to show you guys most of the process, but I didn't want to show off any addresses, for the people that send me stuff. Ooh, I'm not a peanut butter fan in ice cream. Pops in the teeny, but sounds good. I'll try anything once that's related to ice cream. This is gonna sound like really weird to you guys, but like when I was pregnant, I used to have garlic bread with actual garlic on it, and I used to put vanilla ice cream on it. Oh my god, to me that was like heaven. I loved it. It looked at me funny, but I was fine. Now, have I tried it since not being pregnant? No. But at that time, I remember loving it. All right, so pretty much good to go. Pretty solid. Heat tool here, like I would do it here, but I would have to do it in the kitchen. And holding it one way, it's gonna melt, and then it's just gonna all fall by the wayside. So what I'm gonna do now, actually, adding my strips of paper all the way around the edge. Once I have this, yeah. Once I have this done, the whole outside done, then I'll probably start doing the inside. I'm gonna shut this off because I'm not gonna use this no more. I'm gonna revert to my Dollar Tree glue, all these outside panels, and just start kind of building it that way. But 2 inches is a good depth, and it's pretty wide. Again, I might end up cutting most of these pieces off. I'm just gonna leave it on now because if I want to hold it to decorate it, then I don't have to hold the box and put pressure on the box. I could just hold the side and just do whatever it is that I want to do. So help me out that way. Let me just put all of these here. And these are all white for now, but once I put them on, I'm gonna decoupage them, and then I'm probably gonna add either gold paint or something or the other to just bring out a lot of that texture. And when they had super size. Oh my god, these cravings, right? They come at you like a ton. Like they don't care. They do not care. Your hormones put you to want the weirdest things at the weirdest times. All right, so sounds annoying. And I'm just gonna press these in place. So you see the texture. Hopefully you guys can see the texture of that. Um, love this texture. It was orange. That orange wall, huh? Hopefully this one doesn't look so orange, although I know it's hard to see how pink it is. Oh my god, with ice cream? I don't even crave pickles without ice cream. Pickles was one of those things that I did not want. I could also couldn't stand the smell of chicken. Raw, cooked, whatever. Chicken stunk to high heaven. I could not deal at all with no damn chicken. I literally would not even visit your house if you had chicken. I was like, oh, you a friend of the chicken? I'm out. I'm not. I'm not doing it. Brown, any edges that are too big. I would do this with a regular tool, but I noticed that when you sometimes less glue is better than adding more glue. It dries quicker, but because it doesn't warp your paper as much when you use less glue. So with those big nozzle glue, you end up warping your paper because it gets wet and it gets soggy. It's easier than when you go at it with a small amount of glue or thin strips, thin lines of glue at a time. This is a first for me. I've done shadow boxes before, but I've done them different. This one, and definitely different style uh, than this one. This one is kind of a little bit more specific and what their request is. Tanya, you will like it. sure I'm putting the embossed areas where the embossed areas need to go. And then I put the joints together well. I'm probably adding ribbon all the way around it. Once I cut it down to the size that it needs to be, and some fabric to it. So I'm not sure. I want to do so many things to this. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. But so far I like how it's going, and I think I cut enough paper because it doesn't seem to take but two strips, 1 3/4 strips each side. So I think I have more than enough. I might even double layer them if I have left over. And I saw Isabel did a video on some altered bottles. Like came out really cute. I might actually idea, Isabel, if that's okay with you. And I will probably decorate some little bottles. If I find some little small ones, and I'll probably cut them down to size to maybe make like some shabby chic looking furniture. Um, I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. But my mind right now is kind of racing because you know how it is when you're working on something and all the other ideas start shooting to the front of your thoughts. They're like, no, pick me, no, pick me, no, pick me. Like that's kind of what I'm going through right now. They all want to get picked. Um, so yeah. Oh, thank you, Isabel. Um, a really good idea. And I have a lot of pill bottles because of my son and his medication and stuff. So um, those of them, but now with that, with what you did, I'm like, that is a great idea. Uh, um, that might be something that I can add in here. Not too many, maybe like one or two in just different places, just to give it a little bit of a play and see how it comes out. And I have some matchsticks. I have like wooden matches that maybe I could make like little chairs with or something. I don't even know where I'm going. I'm just like I said, everything is coming to the front at the same time, so don't mind me. If you guys have not seen it, please go over to Isabel's channel. Um, she is a new video maker for her crafts. So she did a really awesome video and she pretty much tells you how she did it all, how she made them, and they're really really cute. And once they're covered up, nobody will know. And you could use them as little containers, little cute containers for like your sequins or your, little bits and pieces, because they still have the lid on them. And you can make them functional by leaving the lid, not glued on, or you know, make them into solid pieces by gluing down the lids. It's up to you. So it's coming along. It's coming along, and it's got beautiful texture. I love that. Sure. Um, Once I Mod Podge it, a lot of these corners, because it's gonna get softer the paper, I'll be able to kind of uh, pull it over, or at least maybe cover it a little bit easier. Um, I, I I knew I was gonna do too many. I am so happy. Look at all of this. I'm so happy I didn't spend all those things out. I made a whole bunch, but those are still usable for whatever. I might even be able to do the whole inside with those. So I don't think it's gonna go to waste. Well, it never goes to waste because if I don't use it, I usually give it out, send them to somebody or to many bodies, depending on how much I have. I'm just kind of lining them up I know it's kind of hard to tell, but I'm just lining up the seams so that they're kind of together and it looks like one together piece. And we're already going to be at the bottom, so this is great. We're almost done. And I will try not to give too much of it away, Tanya, so that you actually have some kind of a surprise when you do see it. But at least you'll know where it came from and how the origins and what's behind. So I think that'll be cool. Oh, thank you, darling. Making us keep things. No, I'm not making you keep things. What I am is allowing you the ability to give it new life. That's it. That's all I'm doing. Why throw it out if it can be turned to something else and you can make a gift set and give it away? That's one less present that you have to buy. That's more paper pads later on in life. Right? Well, that's a couple of eBay dyes or, markers or paints or whatever you're into. Yes, darling. Team repurpose. Why buy it if I could DIY it? Do you know? All right. So my wall is coming along great. And we got one more piece to add. And this actually helped me to join and just secure all the corners because I was able to wrap them around for the most part. Started them by wrapping them around. So what I'm gonna suggest to those of you that are gonna make this, if you're gonna wrap your edges out, let's say you end up doing something similar to this with the strips, your corners first and then fill in the rest of the space. That way your corners are secure or fact that your fabric or your paper or whatever is wrapping around each corner. What I'm gonna end up doing is actually overlapping. Fine, but I didn't start off that way. I actually started by right at the edge, which our mind automatically thinks to start right at the edge. So it's just a good idea to kind of use the paper or whatever you're using to just wrap it around the corners. Your finished product a little bit more stability. And it's something that I should have done, but I didn't think about it, to be honest with you, until now that I'm at the last piece. So do all your corners first and then build from there for a way to go. And I'm gonna cut this because it's just too long. I don't need all that. Cut this in first, and then I'm gonna wrap it in, and then just conjoin these two. So seam there, but that's fine. Once I Mod Podge this and just make sure that this paper is protected so it doesn't peel. And you guys can do that with regular school glue if you don't have Mod Podge. That's fine. Just make sure that you do it, you let it dry well. Watch dries really quickly, so I'm not too worried about it. But if you're using school glue, it's really well. Hi, Linda, how are you? Yes, Liz. You know better than I think anyone here the nightmare that has my storage has been for me. Literally spent all day yesterday, first of all, waiting for my package, then rearranging my room to accommodate, not my room, but rearranging all of my apps and stuff. Just taking any little excess that I have here. Little bits and pieces. So that's good to go, and it's nicely covered. Let me just make sure that I got all my little nooks and crannies so that I don't have nothing lifting up later. Because longevity is the key. Alrighty, so Mod Podge this, or maybe I'll do that after. I'm wondering if I have enough strips to do the inside. I'll just do the inside, like so. And again, I'm gonna tell you to start in your corners. So just fold one, just kind of stick it in there, and do that for all four corners. I'm only gonna use this because I have enough. But I don't know if I'm gonna have enough to do the whole thing, but I'll have enough for the corners at least. And then which way? I gotta make sure I'm doing this the right way. That one is that way. This one is this way. Yes. You know my crow. You know my crow, right? My crow is ready. She comes out whenever the delivery man is coming. And she be quick to give me a shout if she sees any phony business. See, this one will fit one, fit one. That kind of fits perfect. Then I only have three now. Cut. All right, so I think I'm gonna do that. Go crazy with this thing because this thing takes forever. So I'm gonna do this quicker. Big glue and um, go into it that way. Yes, less is better, but I'm working with speed right now. So what I'm gonna do is pop this. This is my Dollar Tree glue, my favorite glue in the whole wide world. Thing does everything needed to do. So, well, it does. Yeah, it pretty much does everything that I need to do because it even glues metal pieces, which is glues don't do that. So let's see if now sugar. Did I just break that? I guess my bottle's ready for a refill. The nib off. I broke the nib off. So this is what I'm gonna do. So I broke the nib off. Lord, stand up. I cannot waste you. I love you too much. I am just going to love. Spread the glue love. And this glue dries quick, you guys. So, and it doesn't need much, which is why it works so good with that thin needle thing that I have there. Then I'm just gonna put her in the corner and push her into place. Make sure she's nice and secure. I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It depends if I have time. From here to 9, then it might just happen. But I don't know because I know that as far as embellishments and stuff like that, I don't think I'm ready for that. Kind of like look through it and I have to make some stuff. I might be able to finish the construction of it. Much the embellishment part that might come a little later. But I wanted to get it started. That at least the hardest part, which is building it, is done, and then the funnest part, which is decorating it, I can take my time with and really, give it my all. This I'm probably gonna paint over a lot of this. I'm gonna probably paint over on the inside to make the walls like all pink to bring the pink up and make it solid, and then in the background we have like this mixture of this beige. I can't believe I broke my glue. Now it applies like a glue stick. The only bad thing is that you can't cover it back up. Oh yeah, I can, but it'll probably leak out. Let's see. So I started with all my corners first, just to make sure that my corners are, and then I'll fill in the rest of the gaps with other pieces. Maybe, maybe, because like decorating it with the lace and stuff like that won't be the hard part for me. For me, it's going to be actually, embellishing the inside of the little boxes with, kind of like what Janet did with hers, that she put cute little things inside. I don't have those cute little things, like birds and all of that good stuff. I have wood chip, um, those little pieces of stuff, those special little pieces. Um, what I figure out, like DIY some little furniture type looking things, which is why I was asking Isabel if I can borrow her idea, um, to create some cute little shabby chic altered bottles, with little medicine bottles. I have some really thin ones, like skinny ones, that I might be able to cut down to size and pretty much fit, like makes it fit kind of perfect in here. Replicate like a little scene, if you will. The goal. All right, so right now, this hurts me. All this wasted glue. I'm gonna cover you up because I love you. I'll cover you up and save you. I'm such a hot mess. Yes, darling. And that paper that was in your flip book, I made that paper. Just so you know. Not the images, but the actual background, everything on the on your flip book, I made that from scratch. I made it using this paint and gesso and stamp, and this stamp, my Prima script stamp. All the little flourishes and stuff were die cuts that I just altered and painted and gessoed and that was printed. I printed all of those. Alrighty. Here. Let's put this here. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Me likey likey. Me likey. I have probably some kind of trim. Probably lace or something. I'm gonna hook all those edges up so that it doesn't look so ugly. Thank you, darling. So was yours. I'm not leaving till 9. I'll be here till at least 9, you guys. I can't promise anything after that because my bums can't take it. Be hurting. I start feeling like I'm 60. I be like, ay, Dios mío, my spine, my back, my legs, my butt. Everything be hurting. I need a pill. Do till 9. After that, my body starts rejecting. It starts telling me, no, get up. Don't remind you. Don't let me remind you of what sciatica is. No, not sciatica. I got to get up and move. Gotta get up and move. All right, so we're almost there though. I think because I cut a lot of the pieces out before I started, this is helping me out. And that's something that I'm gonna be doing now. Um, for like Wednesdays, I was talking to Liz about it because I think that I waste a lot of time. Not that I'm wasting time because I still stay the same amount of time, but I think I'm not getting enough crafting done, if you will. Spend a lot of time in the process of making things and kind of showing you guys how to make certain things. But I think some certain things you guys know how to do. You just like watching the process of being it done, like how it's done. Like if I know that I'm making something intricate, then obviously I'll come and show you guys from the beginning to the end, like how I did it. But basic cards and stuff like that, I'm gonna start creating myself like little card kits where I'm just gonna have everything kind of cut, pre-cut and stuff like that, and then I could just assemble live and just show you guys like how I put certain things together. And I think it'll help me be a little bit more productive that way. You know, get more cards done. Same amount of chatting, but just more productive. Of it. For things like this, this is why I kind of like did this first. I would have stopped to kind of do all the cutting of the strips like live. That would have took me a long time. No, Liz. Oh, you just stayed today? Oh, Liz. Don't worry. He forgive you. You with the good fellas. With how you say fellas for girls? 'Cause fellas just plural for everybody. I think 3 more strips out to do this part of it. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. But like I said, when it comes to doing something that I know that some people might not know how to do, I'll do it from scratch. Like obviously, I'll tell you guys measurements if I can figure out what the measurements are. So so on and so forth. Um, you know, on hand right then and there. Like if I'm gonna build a certain embellishment for something that I might need, and then I'll just make one in front of you guys. That way you see how I got, how I made those embellishments. But to get more production done, now that I'm a little bit more organized because I have everything kind of separated into designated areas. Like all my papers are in one place as opposed to like everywhere. And any paper that I have is of different size or style or whatever. I have them together. I have them together. So all of those things are kind of now a little bit more organized. Crazy because I just look at the bin and I know the name that's in it, and I don't have to go nuts now. Where I put this and where I put that, which is kind of what I was going through before. Let me. I need to cut another. I need to cut another strip. It's kind of like what I was going through before, so I'm trying to see if I can find a way to minimize all of that. That way, we can enjoy each other's company on a more productive level. No, not like the movie, but the good people. You're with us, the good people. She said she don't want to burn in hell. She's, she's like, no, not the good fellas. That's not what I meant. here whacking nobody. So I said, Liz, pray for us on your way to church. And God said, not today, Liz. Tú te quedas en tu casa. That's too many people to be praying for. That's bad, but you know what I mean. So here we go. One like I did the other one, and then I just need 3 strips, and then I'll be good to go. Yes, that's right. That's the only thing that gets stashed in the basement, right, Liz? All right, so we are almost done with this pie. Yay! And I still don't even know how I'm gonna cover up those other strips. Lord help me. Project have I got myself into? I'm just playing. I figures it out. You know, and paper pads. That's right, Brandy. We slicing the paper. That's right. Alrighty, so we did good. We did good, and I really like all this texture around this box. So go ahead and start building the inside. I'm gonna leave the Mod Podging and the outside painting probably for last. I'm not gonna waste time on that right now. At any moment in time, as long as I don't start embellishing the edges before I paint the inside. I mean, yeah, the inside and the outside, I'm good. What I will do is paint the inside though. I'll start adding the columns and figuring out how I want these columns to be. Add and Mod Podge the inside and paint them. Um, that's pretty much it. So it's really rough around the edges right now. Ugly stage, if you will. Everything together. I'm gonna go ahead and paint this all with the flat in the chalky finish. I'm gonna worry about the outside for right now. Then I'm gonna start measuring these strips to see exactly like how big I need them to be, how wide, you know. So it's so forth. And then I'll get my heat gun back on again because I turned it off. And we'll start getting all of that stuff done. That's right, Liz. Only the baby powder for the gesso. That's it. So let's see. So I'm gonna go ahead and I don't think I need to prep this paper on the inside because it's gonna mostly be here. I think I'm just gonna go into it and paint it. Best bet for right now. I'll put these strips away. I have to cover those. Put them in there like that. Because that's gonna be hard for me to paint them afterwards. So I'm gonna cover these in some kind of paper first. I'm gonna measure them, cover them in paper, and then put them in place for me to do. Um, I think that'll be easier for me to do than putting them in and then painting them. So I'm gonna do that. Just gonna get a brush real quick. This excess, paint straight to it, and just start painting it out. And this will allow me to still keep that texture, but unify the whole piece together. You know, the same color, if you will. I always speak for myself and speak for nobody else. But when I win, I'm not splitting the prize, okay? So let's see. So it's gonna look like pink walls on the inside. And yeah, you can see a little bit of but if I feel like it's a little bit too cumbersome for me, then I'll just bedazzle it or bling it out or have cute little embellishment to it. Matte, so this is not glossy in any way, shape, or form. I'm painting over also some of that hot glue. This is definitely a handmade, homemade project. Does it come with a webcam already? There's a program that you can download that is free that it allows you to videos cam camera any other camera that you have set up. I think it's something broadcaster. Uh, what you call it? Because I know like you could do Google Hangouts for live streaming. So if you wanted to live stream, do Google Hangouts for live streaming. Um, Alrighty, just pre-record your videos. Then there's gotta be. I know that there's something broadcaster. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's free. Free casting. I forgot what it's called. I was using it before caster, and it's a free open source program, and you can record from there. I wasn't really too fond of it, but maybe you can. Maybe it'll work better on yours as a Chromebook. She is great. Claudia is amazing for her to start showing us her drawing skills because it is beautiful. All right, so I got most of that done. So dun, dun, dun. Then I'll just decorate each little window as I need. Now I gotta put this to the side because I can't put it to the side. Yeah, I have to figure out the sizes here. So I gotta make a few little markings here and there. And I think I'm gonna start with the bottom base. Like so. So I got one. That's gonna be one. That's gonna be one straight opening, and then I'll figure out what I'm gonna put as far as compartments. You guys even see what I'm doing? And then, so the two big slits across, and then I'll figure out exactly how I'm gonna position each little cubicle, which ones are gonna be wider than the other, so on and so forth. Aside for now, and let me get into the cutting of these little things so that I can start wrapping these up, and then I'll figure out the rest of them as I go. Mm-mm-mm. Claudia. Now, which is the strips that I marked? What did I do? Marked. Oh, it's right here. So, pretty much lining this baby up. One used for the Stampin' Up! Too. Great for blades. Oh my God, Liz, that's too funny. From the truth, girl. You're not too far from the truth. So let me just make sure that this is gonna fit before I start decorating. So probably not so high up. Like so there. And then there. Dun, dun, dun. I'm gonna look for a more decent strip. Do these a few at a time as I go. So I have to see how it's gonna be, but I'm gonna start decorating those. There you go. It's the same principle actually. Pretty much store your washi on something like that. As long as you tilt the shelves, these instead of putting these in, just make sure you tilt them up just a little bit, almost like blinds would. your washi tape rolls to the back when you put them in, and you'll be able to fit a lot of washis in a little compartment thing like that. Get some paper, and I think again, like I said before, I'm gonna go with my favorite things, and I think this is very kind of shabby-ish. It's got made that thing. I still have it in there. Um, I don't know about cakes and stuff, but it's loose in here. Or is it? I'm breaking them off as I flip them. I hope not. Oh, you did? Awesome sauce. I think I'm gonna use this one. I like this, and I have two of them. That might be more than enough, and it's got a lot of different cute colors on it. So I think I'm gonna use this one with the windows because I wouldn't know what to use this with the windows anyway. Um, okay, paper, you was dying to come off earlier. Now you don't want to rip off. Okay, let's just take the whole thing off because hello, how you doing? Let me just look to see if there's anything else that I like in here. I think I made the good choice. Right, and this is about windows, so it kind of goes together. Thinking about it. Paper pad to the side because I end up using other little bits and pieces anyway. Or if I have little pieces left over, let's get the wrapping up of some of these things right here. These are the ones that I cut to size. So pretty much I wrap these over. Oh, sugar and spice and everything nice. Long, right? The paper's not long enough, but oh well, they're gonna go like that. Where is my other one? Those might end up getting used in here. Why you think I was saying that I might end up printing out some stuff? Yes, darling. I have plans for those. So, and I'm just gonna roll it onto its own side and do that. That's up to you guys. I just don't like the bumpy that the hot glue has on paper. So I'd rather just take some time and we'll do some double-sided tape, but later. So, this. Let's see if I can find more than one use for this thing. Okay, well, that stuck it on pretty well. So that's one way to skin a cat. I actually did pretty well. Bucket, 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 bucket. Stay there, bucket. Because if I had to change your name from bucket to something else, you're not gonna like it. So I kind of like that. I think it'll give it an interesting kind of look. Each little tier on the thingamabob, shadow box. I'll fix this, but once I've wrapped all of them up, I'll take whatever paper I have left over, and then I'll cut whatever little strips I have to cut and fix that up. For right now, my only concern is to wrap these babies up. Other word. You know what? Don't even tell me, but I wasn't cursing. I was cursing. God knows how many people are gonna think that I was cursing. Alrighty, alrighty. Let's see. Bring this up edge to edge. I think this will look really, really cute. And then we wrap it and we wrap it tight. Okay. Wrap it tight. And then we up with the thing. Now that's what I call something to do. Okay? Two jobs in one shot. Go on the bottom. So now I'm just gonna cut up here to kind of wrap up sides so that I kind of have under control. I even left the tab on it. It's all going in. The crow came out. All right, so works out for now. Same thing to the other side. So you're putting it on because if you end up having guided, then you're gonna want to cover that front edge. Make sure you put it so that your paper will cover it up. You'll be able to wrap it around. And then I'm gonna glue these in place. Why do I have my glue stick on? Now I do. So these are gonna be like what my panels are gonna look like, at least for the ground levels. The other ones, I might just make them solid colors. Have a pink that matches. I just make those solid covers and save something like this so that I can actually cut out one and glue it in one of the windows or where I go from there. But I'm gonna let this kind of heat up for right now. Let me go get some water. While I let that glue gun heat up. 'Cause I'm thirsty and my husband is MIA. He done broke out. Boom. Así se fue. That's right. You know how I get down. Like if you guys want to go, tinkle tinkle or get a drink, go right ahead. You got like while I drink something, while I get something to drink and stretch my legs, pound down. Everything just cracked in my body, you guys. Oh my god. I was gonna drink, but first let me find this paper. This is so bad. Um, Actually, I'm still here. I'm looking for the paper first before I go get a drink of water. I'm hoping that he'll come in the room while I'm searching and I won't have to go over there. So, fingers crossed. So, let's see if I find you today. I need some pink. Find you today. Ooh, this is pretty, but it's not shabby. Ooh, this is shabby. Will it work? Mm, this one might work. I only have one sheet, and what happens if I don't have enough? Don't mind me. I'm just talking to myself. I'm just talking to myself. I'm looking for pink, shabby. What is in here? Nope, that won't do it. I just realized something. I have to organize my paper by color. My plain papers, anyway, so that I know exactly what my plain colors are. 1,500 piles of paper to find plain. I don't even know if you guys can hear me, but okay, I found something. It's just too many different patterns going on. That'll work. Another one? Do this earlier. Glittery embossed paper. These might work. So I think between these three. All right. So nobody came to my rescue. Nobody came to my rescue. So I'm gonna go get something to drink. I'll be right back. Let me just put my mess back because otherwise I have nowhere to sit. I'll be right back. I am back. Roll. All right. Alrighty. Who else is here? Welcome to my live stream. So I'm gonna glue these in. My glue gun should be nice and warm by now. I'm gonna put my bases in so that I know where everything else is gonna kind of go. Where's my thin little scissors? Just trimming off anything that I know is gonna be a nuisance to me later. Trim to this. It doesn't interfere with either my beading or anything else that I want to add to these edges here. Stays flush. It'll be harder for me to cut around it once everything is glued in. So this is how this is gonna go. So, so pretty much like that. Okay. There's one glue I despise in this world is this one. Because you can have the cutest little setup going and then you add this stupid glue, everything goes to heck in a handbasket. I make a man. Oh, I burned myself. In the palm of my hand too. Oh no. I gotta stop talking bad about stuff because they're attacking me. What did you say? Take that, take that, take that. All right, so I'm gonna have to probably paint that again. Paint fields off. I really don't like this glue, so I'm gonna just do this. This at least dries clear and it's mess free. And I'll just do that. Just hold it in place. This is gonna be, oh, I burned my hand. All right, I guess I'm gonna have to glue this. I'm gonna have to glue this with hot glue. The minute I added this one popped right off. Thank you, darling. I don't even own a flower punch, Michelle. I buy dyes. Which paper? The one that I chose? The one that I chose? Liz? I forget which paper pad it's from because it's loose. Oh, it's probably from one of those UV papers. It's very glittery, very embossed. This one, right? Very, very pretty. With it'll add some shine. Um, my hands. I'm so bruised today. Like what the heck? So see, I'm gonna probably make this little one. I'm gonna make this one like really teeny in the top. Add like teeny little embellishments. I just gotta make sure that this is leveled. Yeah, like there. So let me just hold this up right there. And oh no, oh yeah, that's more. I thought I was out of glue sticks. Yes, darling. All of those papers. All I have left, so all my little stack, because it's not that big. Um, all I have left are cotton halls, which are okay for the most part, but they're not um, the stuff I used to have. I've out of all of that cute stuff. And damn, straight. So pretty much, I just kind of ran the flat edge down so that it could become flat again. You know how it gets a little warped and wonky. So I just ran it over on the smooth side of something, flat edge right back. It becomes a little bit more uniform. And I still have to glue the sides of this. Whether that was in there first. That's the glue stick. Just kind of running my fingers with the glue still hot on the edges so that I don't get none of that extra glue out there coming out of the seams. So try to keep it as clean as possible. Oop, don't hold it against me. I try. I really try. I kept getting burns. But it's a pretty little glue. It's a pretty little glue gun. I ain't gonna talk no more bad stuff about it because it keeps burning me every time I say something negative. online, Michelle. You might find a good deal online. You can buy a gift card to most of those stores at like your local pharmacies and stuff like that in case you don't have a credit card. And you can order the stuff online. It might be better for you. Alrighty, so this is done. So I think how this is gonna go is like large, 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 larger, and then small here. It looks like I lifted this one up a little bit. Oh, baby. Yeah, that's it. Sure, that's not a good spot. All right, so I did that. Now I have to figure out it's 3 slots, so I only need 2 pieces of cardboard for each spot in the bottom. These are gonna be pretty simple. This is gonna be pretty simple to make and cut. I'm just gonna cut 2 of these little small ones like that. I just need to do 2 for each little spot. Where's my blade? Let me just measure this, make sure this is gonna fit before I cut my next one. There we go. Like so. So it's starting to come together. I might have to trim a little bit off, but it's starting to come together. So I'll be able to go ahead and, you know what? Let me see something. Crazy, you guys. I just found the easier way to do this one. So these 2 are keepers. This one, we won't do this now. What the heck did I do? Did I keep the wrong piece? Where's the other piece at? Woohoo! So let's cut this piece into this piece. And when a plan comes together, so we have 1, we have 2, 1 and 2. And the idea, more or less, did I reinforce what? I haven't glued them in yet. Right now, I'm just cutting away. And then I'm gonna be covering them up and sliding them in place. I might have to cut just a sliver of this off. Cut another sliver off. There we go. Same for this one. So I'm thinking something like that. Which paper? I didn't reinforce the paper yet. No, I'm gonna Mod Podge everything once it's all glued in place. Podge everything before I even start like adding elements to it. I'm gonna Mod Podge the outside, the inside. I'm just gonna seal it all up. Let that dry, and then I'll go into it. And so, what do you guys think about that layout though for the little cubes? You think that that's good enough? I'm trying to figure out which is gonna be the best way for her to lay it. Um, or this way. I mean, either way, I guess it could work. But all these little pieces. Pretty sturdy now. It's been papered and painted and reinforced, all of that good stuff. It's pretty sturdy now. Now I'm just gonna go into this and kind of adding my and folding and just going over. Shoot, I forgot which way this was going. Okay, so I'm gonna need this. This is here. So, okay, so I gotta fold it that way. I forgot which way it was laying. Yeah, I'm trying to figure, because it's nine of them. Usually, like if I would have made a shadow box, I would have probably done like five compartments. But I've never done one with nine, so I'm trying to figure out like what is the best way um, for it to look, and it's got enough space in there that you can add a lot of different things in it. I don't know. I have to see what I add in it because that's the part that I'm bugging out right now over because I really don't know. Um, this part, the backing, Brandy, I did it after I took all the paper off in order to expose, the the inside, textured area. Added gesso to the whole thing, set it. I also added some crackle paste, but that's just optional. That was just for wanting to do it, just because I wanted to have like little cracks in it here and there to the whole thing. And right now it's pretty sturdy. And then for the corners not to kind of buckle on themselves after I've glued them, I made sure that when I put the paper on the corners first. Well, I didn't do that the first time, but I did that the second time. But the rule is starting all the corners first and then fill in the middle sections so that your corners are reinforced. And that way you won't get no buckling. And then if you do paper on the inside, then do the same thing. Corners first and then fill in the other gaps and spaces that you have in there so that your structure is sound. And now it won't, once I add the little pieces here, it's pretty much going to be nice and sturdy on this side. As you can see, it's nice and sturdy on this side. Once I add all the bling or whatever it is I'm going to add, the lace and tools, so on and so forth, everything will pretty much be all nice and solid. But not pretty cute so far. And then what I'm gonna do after I'm done layering all these little compartments and putting everything in there is that I'm gonna Mod Podge the whole thing, just so that I can make sure that I get glue in all the nooks and crannies that maybe I didn't get glue in, or the regular glue. Plus, it'll seal the surface, so if water spills on it or something spills on it or whatever it happens, this won't get damaged. Paper is paper and it'll still warp if you, I mean, if you submerge it, it's gonna warp. But at least it'll protect all the images and just all the stamping and just all the different things that are going on in here. So at least that's what I'm thinking about doing for now. All right, so I am going to, I should spritz the what? Spritz the paper. I'm gonna spritz the paper, not saturate it, just spritz it so it bends a little easier. I heard this, who was it, Liz? To spritz the paper when you were making your owl loaded bag, which is super cute as well. It just makes it easier to fold the paper and you won't crack. And because this is so textured and it's got glitter and all that stuff, you don't want that design to kind of crack in the front, especially since I'm going to be exposing these little edges on the side. I don't want them to be cracked. They crack on me all the time because I always forget to spritz the paper. Forget to spritz the paper. It's always good to pass on useful tips when you hear them. I'm trying to figure out what paper is what. I'm gonna do these one at a time because I'm not sure which way they're facing them because I didn't cut them all the same direction. So I just want to make sure that I don't mess up and cut off a piece that I need, expose and not cover it. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish this whole thing, but I'm surely gonna try. And then I think what I'll end up doing probably when I get ready to finish this, like once I figured out what I'm gonna do as far as the inside, I'll come back out finishing of it live so that you guys can see more or less what I end up thinking about or how I end up doing it. And then I'm just gonna flatten this piece out. I'm not scraping the edge. I'm just using the flat side of it to just flatten it out so that again I have a nice clean edge forward. Much how that's gonna be. My little wall, where does this go? Wall is pretty much going to be and nice. And I gotta see which one is the next one. This one isn't going here. So let me just mark these. This goes up. So I'm just gonna put an arrow so that I know this goes up. Which way is what? So when I put my paper, I know I gotta cover this edge, which is what that arrow represents to me. That I have to cover that edge up. Because that's really the only edge I'm worried about at this point in time. It's that one. Now I can go ahead and bulk finish them. Because now I know which way I'm going. Thank Liz, because this is the one that gave me the tip in the first place. I know about wetting the paper, but I honestly speaking, I forgot. And when she said that, I was like, oh, that's right. That whole situation for me. So thank you very much, Liz. So, sorry. Where's the next piece here? It's this one here. So I'm just gonna keep gluing these on. Use as much of this one strip that as I possibly can before I have to cut out another one. Paper is precious. My precious. Just flush it out and make sure that your corners and everything are leveled, your edges are leveled. You don't care so much about what's gonna be facing the bottom because you're gonna be gluing those in. The edges, again, you want to have them covered, but you don't care so much about those edges. The most important thing right now is that top coverage and the both of your sides are evenly covered. That is the most important thing right now. Everything else you can always embellish with beading or bling or lace or tulle, whatever you want to add in there. Once you make it your own. But you could do this with a shoebox, with anything that you want to use. See, I got a little piece left over right there, but it's okay because when I put it in, that is exposed, and I'll add a trim of bead right there. So I'm not gonna worry about it. Don't worry about it. A little bit more exposed than others. So it's it again because it has dried. And I'm going into an opposite fold now. Awesome sauce. I hope so, girl, because this is going to your casa. And as long as you love it, that's what made it. So that when I fold it over, I just gotta cut the excess and not worry so much about side pieces that are there. And then just folding it over. Cut it over. Now I can just proceed to cut the rest of it out and not worry that kind of being in my way and not being able to see where the actual edges. Proceed to cut right where I left that off at and know that my edge is right there. I'm gonna need more paper. This Mama Jama. And you don't want to OD. You just want a little bit. It should still feel more or less dry to your hand. Overall dry to your hands. Do it this way. From this, did I say brandy? I saw sorry brandy. And then I'm just gonna cut along this line right here. Make it easier for myself to work with. Yes, sometimes brandy. It really does all depends. But most of the time it'll stop the cracking. Extra type paper. If it's too dry, then that's probably why it cracked. Nice and wet and the embossing is not too heavy, you should be fine. Teeny little ones. I should be able to fit these both in there, which I can. That's perfect. Oh, gotta make sure my arrow's pointing in the right direction. So I got one. And our last piece. Alrighty. So we have our pieces. Time to assemble. Let's put our smaller pieces in. If anything becomes unhinged, back in place. trying to make sure I got enough room. But